BFM 퀴즈를 검색하고 구독해주세요.
The time is now 7 o'clock.
Well, let me ask you this. Did you enjoy the warm weather over the weekend? I certainly did. I ventured out on Saturday. I couldn't help but to really enjoy basking in the sun. It was so nice. There were tons of people out and about. There were scores of couples and families enjoying the warm, late winter weather, early spring. For families with young children, there were many strollers as well. And anecdotally, one thing I noticed is this. There were more than, half of the strollers out there. They were occupied not by babies, but by dogs. That's right. If we look at the numbers from a few years ago, specifically 2023 transitioning into 2024, the number of dog strollers outsold baby strollers here in Korea. And that may be a sign of the times, and I am all for the fur babies, but I'm also hoping that we see more of the humankind in strollers as well. I'm Catherine. This is Morning Wave in Busan on Monday, February 23rd on BEFM, 부산영어방송. Good morning, Wavers. Welcome back to our show. It's Monday morning, and I'm just going to say welcome back to our PD님 as well. She is back. So for those of you who missed her and who were asking for the tamak, for all the, the news stories, she and they're all back today. So anyhow. Okay, so as of today, we have exactly 100 days left until the June 3rd local election. So come June 3rd, people nationwide will vote for their respective cities and provinces' mayors, governors, and local council representatives. And keep in mind that foreign nationals who have permanent residency here in South Korea are also eligible to vote in the local elections. On top of this, up to 10 re-elections or by-elections for National Assembly representatives are set to take place as well. And this election is the first nationwide election under the Lee Jae-myung administration, which means that the results will be a sort of report card for the new president, along with being a barometer for where the 2028 general elections and the 2030 presidential election may be headed. So far, the Democratic Party, or DP, won the 2024 general elections and last year's snap presidential election. So if the DP were to take local governments as well, it would be a major push for their agenda. On the other hand, the opposition, People Power Party, or PPP, won big in the 2022 local elections. And if they were to repeat this victory again, it would be a major turning point for the Conservative Party. On top of this, the minor Rebuilding Korea Party is running its own gambit after merger talks with the DP fell through, and apparently that's been pushed back to after the local elections. So the Reform Party is also presenting itself as a conservative alternative, with both minor parties seeking to get meaningful results in the local council races. So the results of these elections will also determine the political future of the party's respective leaders, whether they will be able to leap as possible to become maybe presidential elections, or maybe they might see challenges to their leaderships. So the mayoral and gubernatorial races across the capital area in Busan, they are expected to be major battlegrounds. So we can certainly expect things to heat up in the next 3 months. And we here on Morning Wave in Busan, we're going to cover all of that plus much more. Now it is time for our text topic. So are you ready on this Monday morning? Are you the type to always have your phone charged to 100%? Or do you let it run down to maybe 10 or 20% before charging? before plugging it in. 자, 나는 폰 배터리 상시로 100% 만들어 놔야 마음이 편하다. 마음 편해요. versus 20%? 20%한 번도 간 적이 없는데. 20%? 10%? 경고 떠야 충전한다. What about you? I want to hear from you. I will go first because I have the mic. I usually, with my new phone, I start charging at like the very, very maximum. 이거는 최대. 여기 진짜 I gotta plug it in. I gotta charge. 한 45%? 불안해요. Just because I don't know why. I can't let it run down to 10 or 20. But yeah, it's always at like, capacity when I can. It's probably bad for my phone. I don't know. We'll find out later on. And for our producer, Tweety Bird back. 아침 알람 때문에 항상 100% %라고 합니다. So you can send in your variations of what percent you start to charge your phone to BFM's live stream live chat on YouTube. Go to the YouTube platform, type in BEFM or 부산영어방송 to find us. You can subscribe, log in, chat with our other waivers. Also from your phone, pound 9050, shop 9050. That's going to cost you 100 won. Also, you can reach me for free on Kakao Talk. So you got to find us first. So you can enter BEFM, 부산영어방송, add us as a friend, and then send in your messages and photos as well. The ways you can tune into Morning Wave in Busan, 90.5 or 103.3 FM on the radio. That's if you're in the Busan area. We're streaming live right now on YouTube. Check us out if you haven't already. And we're available on the BEFM app and Papang app as well. Both are free and easy to download. It is Monday, so we have Now in Busan with Jian, Haley with top stories in hour number 1, 와글와글 tea time in hour number 2. And then for hour number 1, we have Vasana joining us for profile check. And then we have Sue in hour number 2 for news in depth. And then our special interview today. You may have heard about this, the fact that the U.S. Supreme Court has made a major decision on Trump's tariffs. But what does this really mean? What does this decision mean? Will it have an effect on the tariffs themselves? We're going to find out in our special interview. That's in hour number 2. I'll be back with news overview. It is now 7:07. This is news overview. Fire authorities issued nationwide mobilization alerts order for Hamyang wildfire. The National Fire Agency has issued a nationwide mobilization order as a wildfire in Hamyang County, Gyeongnam Province, continues to spread for the third day. Changwon-dae holds policy coordination meeting over U.S. tariffs. Senior presidential, government, and ruling Democratic Party officials met last night to discuss policy coordination responses to U.S. President Donald Trump's global reciprocal tariffs of 15%. South Korea lodges protests over Japan's Takashima Day. The foreign ministry yesterday called in a Japanese diplomat to lodge a protest over an annual regional event in Japan, claiming sovereignty over South Korea's island of Dokdo. Armed man who breached Trump's residence killed. The U.S. Secret Service shot and killed an armed intruder who breached the perimeter of Mar-a-Lago, Donald Trump's Florida residence, early on Sunday local time. South Korea comes in 13th place as Milano Cortina Games end. The Milano Cortina Winter Olympics have come to an end with a closing ceremony in Verona, with South Korea coming in 13th place. This was News Overview. It's now time for Jian and Now in Busan. Let's say hi first. Happy Monday.
Good morning.
Well, I hope you had a good weekend.
I did. The
It
weather
was nice.
beautiful.
It was. I can't wait. I hear that it might be not as warm this week. You know, they always have the 국정전반, the last bit of winter,
Yes.
the last cold snap. I need to know about your phone charging habits.
The phone charge habits.
Yes.
I used to I didn't really care whether it's 100% or even if I have only 3 to 3% as long as it's on.
I shudder at the thought, but okay, go ahead.
It's on. But since now I'm living alone.
Yes.
And there's nobody to wake me up in the morning. I don't know if our ravers noticed before, but about a month ago, when I woke up, it was 6:45.
That made all of us nervous. Yes.
My phone died because I forgot to charge it at night. So I'm obsessively it has to be charged all the time.
It only takes that one time, right? Okay. Well, we're going to jump into our first story. We're starting with a fire report from yesterday.
Yes.
So what are the details?
At around 2 p.m. yesterday, on February 22nd, a fire broke out again at an auto parts factory in Gangseogu district. And the major flames were brought under control after about 6 hours.
Right. Were there any injuries or evacuations reported?
There were no casualties, but the fire spread to a nearby factory, prompting workers to evacuate. Thick black smoke also spread around the area, leading fire authorities to temporarily issue a level 2 response.
I see. And how did the fire authorities respond to the situation?
Busan fire officials deployed 68 fire trucks and around 160 personnel after raising the response level at 4:16 p.m., focusing all efforts on containment. The flames were eventually extinguished, and authorities plan to investigate the exact cause of the fire by questioning factory workers, as it is believed to have started inside the steel frame structure.
Right. Property loss, not good. But of course, the fact that there were no casualties, very good news. We're going to move on to our next story. We're going to talk about a major infrastructure delay in Busan. So what's the latest on this?
Yes. So the construction of the remaining section of the coastal road connecting Kamcheon Port and Daepo Port in Sahagu district is expected to be postponed again this year due to insufficient funding.
Oh no. So how much progress has been made so far?
The district received 3 billion won from Busan City this year for the Daepo Coastal Road project.
Okay.
A total of 9.7 billion won has already been spent on detailed design services and demolition costs through last year, but an additional 8.6 billion won is still needed for remaining compensation and full-scale construction. With the current budget shortfall, delays to the planned 2028 completion are now likely, and the district has not been able to allocate its own budget due to financial constraints.
I see. Well, maybe you can remind us of what the project aims to improve.
Of course. The project, which has been underway since 2015, spans about 2.5 kilometers, connecting existing roads with a 1.4 kilometer section and an additional 350-meter new road segment.
Okay.
Once completed, the travel distance from Tongil Asiat Park to Daepo Port Station is expected to be reduced from about 2.5 kilometers to around only 700 meters, while also easing chronic congestion on Daedo, the current mandatory route between Kamcheon Port and Daepo Port.
I see. Well, what will happen this year maybe instead of the full construction itself?
Only the first round of demolition near the Tade Fishermen Welfare Center was completed by last December. Although the original plan was proceed with the second demolition and begin construction in the first half of this year, officials have decided to prioritize site maintenance of already demolished sections.
I see. Thanks for giving us an update on this. Now I hear that that there are some ministries, 2 ministries that are planning to work together. What's the story behind this?
Yes, the Ministry of Oceans and Fisheries signed a memorandum of understanding with the Ministry of Employment and Labor last Friday on the 20th to foster the maritime and fisheries industry and create regional jobs. The The MOU serves as a follow-up to a January agreement which focused on strengthening competitiveness and safety management capacity in port-related industries at Busan Port.
So what does this mean specifically for Busan?
Acting Minister Kim Sang-bum emphasized the significance of the first launch of a region and industry specialized employment center in the maritime capital here in Busan. He said the partnership aims to attract skilled talent to the maritime and fisheries sectors and build a virtuous cycle of job creation with safer working conditions.
Yes, indeed. All right. Next, I hear there was a surge in cruise arrivals during the Lunar New Year holiday. So how was this handled?
The Ministry of Oceans and Fisheries said it provided stable arrival and departure handling for 19 cruise ships and about 40,000 passengers that entered major ports including Busan, Jeju, and Incheon during the Lunar New Year holiday period.
Well, it does sound like a kind of a large-scale operation. Any particular challenges?
Yes, during the holiday, 8 large cruise ships carrying more than 3,000 passengers each called at major ports including Busan, requiring thorough safety management as large numbers of passengers disembarked at the same time.
Yes, and what measures were taken to manage the entire situation?
So starting on the 14th, when the holiday period began, the ministry operated a special cruise arrival and departure response team and maintained an emergency communication system with related agencies. As a result, entry procedures were completed in about 10 minutes per passengers on average, maintaining a smooth and stable flow despite the high volume.
Yes, yes. All right, and for a final bit of news, Busan is set to host a major global heritage event this year. So let's hear about this.
Of course, a government white paper documenting the preparations and outcomes of the 48th session of the UNESCO World Heritage Committee, which will be held in Busan this July, is set to be published.
So who's leading the publication and what will it cover?
According to the government procurement system, the Korea Heritage Service has recently commissioned a research project to publish the official white paper. The report is expected to comprehensively cover Korea's efforts to win the bid, the preparation process, and detailed strategies for successfully hosting the committee.
And why is this committee significant internationally?
The World Heritage Committee is the most important international meeting related to World Heritage, where key decisions are made on heritage inscription, conservation, and protection. Korea will host the committee for the first time 38 years after joining the World Heritage Convention in 1988.
Wow, 38 years. So when and where will the meeting take place in Busan?
The main session will run from July 19th to 29th at Bexco with Ambassador Lee Byung-hyun, former permanent delegate to UNESCO, serving as chair.
Well, of course, Busan will look forward to that. Thank you for all the local news. Have a great day, and we'll check in with you tomorrow. Thank you, Jian.
Thank you.
All right, I'll be back with your traffic and weather. It's time for your traffic report. There is a broken down vehicle on Hwangyang Ramp on the Dongso overpass going away from the city, so please be mindful about that area. It is congested on Mandok-daero from Mandok Tunnel number 2 to Mandok intersection. Also backed up on Nakdong-namno from Gangso Police Station to Seongsan three-way intersection. It's also slow on Luno-Samsung-daero from Myeongji Underpass to Shino Bridge. Currently, it is 2 degrees here in Busan. Under clear skies, it's expected to go up to 14 today. Busan City is under a special dry weather special report and a cold wave special report. Looking at the weather nationwide, a chilly morning across the country. Up to 10 degrees colder than yesterday, with most of the country seeing sub-zero temperatures. The air is very dry across Gangwon, Gyeongsang, and the East Coast, so please take extra care when handling flames. Bad fine dust levels are forecast due to yellow dust from China, so please check the air quality level before you head outside. This was your traffic and weather. Korea
Broadcast Advertising Corporation, Kobaco supports your broadcast advertising production costs. This program is open to innovative small and medium-sized enterprises, offering up to 45 million won for TV ads and 3 million won for radio ads. Applications are open from January 22nd to February 23rd at 6 p.m. For more details, visit the Kobaco website.
It's time for Top Stories. We have Haley in the studio. Good morning.
Good morning.
I hope you had a wonderful weekend.
I had a relaxing weekend.
Uh-huh.
I was bedridden. I had a little bit of a stomach bug, just a tiny one. That was like enough to force me to eat chuk all day yesterday.
That's
and then,
serious.
Well, I mean,
Anytime
I
you're
actually
chuk-
like chuk. I actually do like
really?
chuk. Yeah. And then electrolytes, which I also like, and napping, which I love. So excuses.
Can I vent about my dog stroller incident?
Yeah, please.
Okay, so I went to a local outlet, bit of a shoe shopping for, one of my kids. Anyhow, so I was out with my sister and then I made eye contact with a woman with a stroller. She was outside and I was inside. And it looked like she was waiting for, and I was like, okay. So I opened the door for her. She had a stroller.
Yeah.
And then I wanted to take a peek at the baby. I was like, oh, is the
We
baby
always
sleeping?
do.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
I looked back. It was a dog. I opened the door for a dog. And by the way, I am a very pet-friendly person. But the fact that and I made eye contact and she was waiting for me to open the door which is fine. I mean, it doesn't cost anything to open the door for anyone.
For anyone, regardless
But
of
she
whether
didn't
it's a
even
shopping
thank
cart.
me?
Oh, that's problematic.
And it was a dog. So hence the opening was all about, human strollers versus dog strollers. I had to get that off my chest.
I'm glad. Also,
yeah.
for me, it's the not thanking you part.
Exactly.
Yeah, I'm like, I don't care if it's a cat stroller, a dog stroller, a squirrel, hamsters. Don't
Yeah.
care. Thank me. Yeah.
She
Anyways.
didn't. Anyhow, okay. It's not the dog's fault. We're going to dive. Oh, sorry. Battery. Battery, sorry. What percent?
Apology accepted.
Yes.
Well, my phone is 5 years old and it is 7:21 in the morning and my phone's already at 72%. It's only at 72%, I guess. So yeah, I am consistently, whenever there's an outlet, I'm plugging this thing in. But then I get home in the evening. I don't care. I do not care because I'm home.
That's
and
true.
the scripts are in. So yeah. Anyways.
All right. Now we're going to dive into the aftermath of the first court's ruling in ex-President Yoon Suk-yeol's insurrection case.
Right. So let's recap from last Thursday when the Seoul Central District Court handed down a life sentence for ex-President Yoon Suk-yeol for leading an insurrection by declaring martial law on December 3rd of 2024.
Right.
And also sending troops to the military, categorizing this as a riot. And then the following day on Friday, former President Yoon issued a statement via his attorney. So this was about 1,000 words, 2 pages, and the message was that he essentially cannot and will not accept the ruling. There was about a one line of apology to the public,
Right.
but then Yoon said that the court failed to completely exclude political powers of lies and propaganda. And he stood by his position that the decision to declare martial law was for the people and stated that he cannot accept the logic that just because the military went into the parliament, this would constitute an insurrection. The former president further discredited the judiciary, saying that one cannot guarantee the court's independence nor expect a judgment that's based on the law and conscience. And he expressed his deep skepticism at even filing an appeals and fighting the case legally.
So does this mean that he won't appeal the case?
No, he will.
Oh.
It was just his sentiment,
Okay.
at least according to his attorneys. The defense is expected to file the appeals within the week and stated that the former president's comments were simply a reflection of how he feels and it shouldn't be taken as an intention to not appeal the case.
I see. And then we heard a loaded message from the opposition People Power Party.
Right. So this was kind of a shocker as the People Power Party or the PPP leader has decided to embrace the disgraced former president.
Right.
And that came as a shock to many and against calls from even within the party. So again, on Friday, PPP's chair Jang Dong-hyuk held a press conference and directly refuted the court's ruling. So Jang, who's a former judge himself, said the party and many constitutional scholars' position is that martial law does not automatically equal insurrection, and said that the verdict was riddled with holes. And Jang even said that because the ruling was only the first ruling, the principle of innocent until proven guilty, so 무죄 추정, should still apply.
Well, legalities aside, given his position as a party leader, this was very much a political decision.
Right, and seen as a political gamble at that. Because again, this was a shocker as the expectation, even within the party until this point, was that he would sever ties with the former president following the guilty ruling.
Right.
But he actually made it his political position clear to take a pro-Yoon approach and call those demanding that the party split with the ex-president, quote, the seeds of division. So on the contrary, he called hardcore Yoon supporters patriots. And this led to an uproar within the party, with those opposing this position calling Jang all sorts of names, ranging from, quote, crazy or determined to ruin the party, and actually even called for his resignation.
I see. So very busy on that front. We're going to go to our next story for now, though. North Korea, where its biggest political event has taken place.
Right, so this would be the Workers' Party Congress. It's considered the biggest political event in the country that opened last Thursday.
Right.
So this event happens every 5 years. And in the opening speech, leader Kim Jong-un expressed a strong confidence in the party and the country, heralding the changes in the last 5 years, developments, and achievements. So comparing the situation to 5 years ago, Kim said that North Korea's international status has been, quote, irreversibly solidified, likely referring to its status as a self-proclaimed nuclear nation. He also remarked that the situation from 5 years ago was desperate, referring to global sanctions, natural disasters, and of course the COVID-19 pandemic, but that everything has changed since then.
Sure.
So to that end, he said that the first phase of this 15-year plan to create a socialist strong force by the year 2035 has been completed, and that the party congress this time will be the launching off point for phase 2.
Well, what might we expect from this point?
Power through might seems to be the major theme. So nuclear and conventional weapons to strengthen the military power and also to gain independence in economic regions. So pundits say that a reason for this boost in confidence likely comes from Russia.
Okay.
That North Korea's troop deployment to the war in Ukraine, that led to modernization of North Korean military, also economic support it gained via this deployment from Russia.
Right.
So to that end, Russia sent its congratulations under the party chairman of Russia United Party's name, Dmitry Medvedev, and that is the first time such congratulations have come through an official channel.
All right. We're going to move on to some domestic issues. The whole flour price, 밀가루, the fixing scandal is growing.
Right. So the Fair Trade Commission, the FTC, will rule on the allegations that the major flour manufacturers in Korea allegedly colluded to raise prices, including whether it will order the companies to redetermine, so reset these prices.
Oh.
So this is all happening at an unprecedented speed after President Lee Jae-myung ordered for the FTC and other authorities to crack down on these activities.
Okay, so what did the FTC find so far?
Right. So on Friday, the FTC announced that it'll hold a general conference and assess the issue of the top 7 flour manufacturers allegedly having colluded to fix prices. So these 7 companies collectively account for 88% of the entire flour market and likely sold 5.8 trillion won worth of flour under these inflated prices. And reports say that these acts are grave violations that should be fined. And it also includes an opinion for the FTC to order these companies to reset prices on their own accord.
Okay, and then what happens now?
Right, so the FTC is in the process of distributing this finding and report to each of the 7 companies. They will then take these companies' opinions in written form and assess the matter at a general conference. So it'll be sort of like a trial trial.
Okay.
So if the FTC officially determines that there was indeed price fixing, then they can fine the companies up to 20% of these earnings. By the way, the process actually happened 20 years ago, where 8 companies back then were ordered to pay 43.5 billion won in fines. And interestingly, these are the exact same companies or their predecessors, the 7 companies that are facing the charges now.
I see. Well, we'll await news on that front. In the meantime, we're going to go on to some international news. So let's briefly go over the U.S. Supreme Court's ruling that Trump's tariffs are illegal. And of course, I mentioned that we have a special interview on this with our expert, different angles. So give us the basics.
Right. So this was a highly anticipated case. The U.S. Supreme Court ruled that many of Trump's tariffs were indeed illegal. This is a major blow to President Trump's agenda and drew an immediate reaction from the U.S. president.
Well, let's go over what the Supreme Court said exactly.
Right. So here's the basis for the case. When it comes to tariffs, 관세, Congress has the power to approve tariffs.
Yes.
But then that takes time, of course, and even risks of some of them getting struck down, even with the Republican, although a slim majority in Congress.
Sure.
So therefore, President Trump kind of skipped this process by using this very obscure law. It's called the International Emergency Economic Powers Act, or the IEEPA. Basically, in very specific certain circumstances, it grants the president authority to regulate or prohibit international transactions during a national emergency. Basically, simply put, if there is a national emergency, usually that's a war, then the president can, by himself, impose tariffs.
Okay.
So that was the legality that was at hand, dealt with by the Supreme Court. And the court, in a 6-3 ruling, declared that this law did not justify the tariffs. This is a major ruling, as it is the first time that this majority conservative court has overruled one of Trump's second-term policies.
Right. But this doesn't mean the end of tariffs, right?
Absolutely not. So new tariffs came. The decision definitely outraged President Trump. So immediately after the ruling, that would be Friday local time, he announced and signed documents imposing a temporary 10% tariff on all countries. And then a day later, he raised that to 15%. And that is the maximum that's allowed under a new, never-before-used tariff law, or trade law, rather. So this new law is the Section 122 of the Trade Act of 1974. And also, Trump will begin investigations of unfair trade practices, allowing further tariffs.
Okay.
And President Trump said in his opinion, the court has been, quote, swayed by foreign interest. And he also said he was ashamed of certain members of the court and absolutely, quote, ashamed for not having the courage to do what's right for the country.
Sure.
So looking at the breakdown, again, 6-3 ruling, there were 3 conservative justices, Brett Kavanaugh, Clarence Thomas, and Samuel Alito, who dissented, meaning they voted in favor of Trump's tariffs. But then this also means 2 of his own appointees,
right.
Amy Coney Barrett and Neil Gorsuch, actually voted against the president.
Ah, yes. So, of course, once again, we'll have more on this in hour number 2 with our expert. And now for our final Olympics coverage.
Right. So Victory Day for South Korea was on Saturday.
Yes.
And Team Korea took the silver in men's 5,000 meter relay. So that would be Im Jong-un, Hwan Dae-yeon, Lee Jung-min, and Lee Jun-seo, finishing right behind the Netherlands. And then after that, in women's 1,500 meter individuals, Kim Ki-ri took the gold, solidifying herself as the new star in short track. And Chae Min-jung, the veteran star, won silver, and she therefore became the most decorated South Korean Olympian of all time.
Right.
So this was a great kind of pass the torch moment, as Kim Ki-ri actually passed Chae Min-jung in the second to the last lap of the race.
Yes.
By the way, this was Kim Ki-ri's very first Olympics.
Sure.
And she contributed to the gold in the 3,000 meter relay and won another gold in individuals. And she also took the bronze in the 1,000 meter individuals.
Yes.
And this is actually the first time in 12 years since Sochi 2014 where female female athlete won 3 medals in her Olympic debut.
Right.
The last one being her teammate, this time around, Sim Seok-hee. Going back to Choi Min-jung, she now has 7 medals, 4 golds and 3 silvers, and again, the most decorated Olympic athlete, both summer and winter games combined.
Sure.
But then a bit of a sad moment as Choi announced that this will be her final Olympics.
Yes.
In a tearful post-game interview, she said she has no regrets and the tears are coming from mixed feelings of this being her last Olympics.
Right.
That she's also had some knee and ankle trouble going in. However, she actually didn't say outright she'd be retiring altogether. So this isn't the end for this legend.
Ah, such a legend, and it was a great moment. Anyhow, thank you for covering the Olympics because you're such a sports
Person. I did wake up early to watch the short track on Saturday, though.
So thank you. We do appreciate it. And we'll check in with you in hour number 2. Thank you, Haley.
See you in a bit.
All right, it's now time for a song break. So this is 파이팅 해야지 by 부석순.
Fighting, 해야지. Fighting. 불사 일어나야지. 아침인데 눈 감았다든 해가 춘천인데 아침밥은 계속 10분 더 자야 돼. Take a coffee 또 속에 것들은 다 왜 잘나 보여 나 마왜 또왜 아등바등 또왜 이리저리 쳐왜 우린 다 이어폰 꺼본 좀비 필요한 모두 다 텐션업 펌핑 힘을 좀 내어보자 우린 여러분의 부석순 반복되는 하루에 시작이 되는 이 노래 네 옆에서 불러주겠어 힘내지 못하겠어 Fighting Don't give it up never give it up yeah Fighting 우리 부석순 Fighting 왜 아둥바둥 또왜 이리저리 저왜 우린 다 이어폰 꺼본 좀비 필요한 모두 다 텐션업 펌핑 힘을 좀 내어보자 우린 여러분의 부석순 반복되는 하루에 시작이 되는 이 노래 네 옆에서 불러주겠어 힘내지 못하겠어 Don't give it up, never give it up, yeah.
Okay. 모닝 카페인은 디카페인 일찍 일어나니 기분 뭐같지 철없이 부재중 전화 제끼고 dance with my laziness 부분 등 발다리 전부 다 패니 Ooh I feel like I'm 17 이런도 못해만 되는 불행과 같이 살기에는 내 시간이 너무 아깝지 man Y'all don't deserve it Unfortunate is unnecessary 알다시피 인생은 원래 그지 같아 그러니 조금만 힘을 내 구겨진 인생을 연주반엔 우린 비운의 베이베이 차분히 다 막장을 연주해 We got plenty more pages left to play
올라갔다 내려가는 주식같이 알다가도 모르겠는 인생 뭐같지 한 템포 쉬고 물 한 모금 마시기 자 여기서 비타민 A, B, C 반복되는 하루에 시작이 되는 이 노래 네 옆에서 불러주겠어 힘내지 못하겠어 Fighting Don't give it up man Don't give it up yeah Fighting 우리 부석순 Fighting again Fighting again
It is time for Profile Check. Vasana's here. Good morning.
Guten Morgen.
How are you?
I'm fine, thank you. And you?
Oh, pretty good. How was your weekend?
Busy. I was triple booked. So
Oh, you were really busy.
yeah, I was hoping to have a quiet weekend, but then a friend texted me saying he's coming down to Busan. Then another person texted me saying he was having a birthday party, which
Oh my gosh.
he said, I told you a month ago. I said, I didn't get the memo. Then somebody else is leaving Korea for good, so I had to go to his one first.
Oh my gosh.
And
So
then
busy.
yeah.
Popular Vasana.
Oh, no. Just happened to be this weekend.
Well, our text topic today
Text
is all
topic.
about cell phones.
Cell phones.
So, are you the type that waits until your battery goes down? It's drained
Yep.
down to like 10%?
Yep.
Or do you like constantly check and charge,
I'm the type of person who's read a few papers on this. So getting it right down to zero is not good. And constantly charging it when it just loses 1 or 2% is not good either.
Right.
So just before, around between 10 and 0, the expert says the best time to recharge your phone.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Otherwise, if you do those two, waiting until it's zero, drain your battery, or just a little bit, then your battery life is not going to last.
Right, and I remember Tommy, who works at a big company.
Yeah.
He was saying like, don't charge it overnight because like once you get to 100, you're supposed to unplug.
That's the other thing.
Hence,
Yep.
you're sleeping,
Yeah.
and then you tend to leave it plugged in. 'Cause
Yes.
you're sleeping once again. So, interesting.
But we have chargers everywhere in our car. We have the portable chargers.
True.
We have in our
Yes.
classroom. And even at my school, we have actually the chargers in the wall for students to use at any.
Yeah.
Oh, so yeah, you
They're
don't
all
really
around
need
us.
to.
Yes. Well, we're going to jump into profile check. Who are we covering today?
We're covering a few different types of people.
Okay.
We are looking at people to see what it's like to live under an intense situation.
Oh.
So these three people have gone through quite a bit in their lives and still going through in their lives.
Okay.
Some people chase the spotlight. Some people are always in the spotlight.
Kind of, yeah.
Yes.
So who are we beginning with?
We'll start with a person, I'm not sure Korean people would know about this person, but she will be on your TVs a lot more now because she's been in the news recently for teaming up with a guy called Therese Halliburton, who's Korean people might not know either. He's an NBA player.
Yeah.
So Caitlin Clark is a WNBA player.
Oh, yeah.
So she's teamed up with Therese, who's an NBA player, for a, I can't say this, I made up this word, Ago Aid.
Ago Aid. Okay,
Ago
I
Aid.
get it. What are the electrolyte sports drinks?
Electrolyte
Yes.
sports drinks, yes. Ago Aid commercial. So that's a story for another day. But the reason why I did is she's one of the highest paid female athletes. Last year she got $15.6 million US.
But that's not from her WNBA salary.
No. Her salary, actually, we might be getting paid more than she is for her in regard to her WNBA salary. But her endorsements is where she gets all the money.
Yes.
And so a lot of people are jealous. A lot of fellow players, WNBA players, are jealous because of that.
Right. So
anyway,
tell us
profile.
more about Caitlin Clark.
She was born when I first came to Korea in 2002. And, I feel old. In West Des Moines, Iowa. Am I pronouncing that correctly?
I think it's Des Moines without the
Des
S.
Moines. So it's not Des Moines.
No.
Not wet Des Moines.
West Des Moines,
West.
Iowa.
Oh, so
Yes.
West has the S?
Yes.
Okay. So she grew up in a sports-oriented family, and from early on, she always played against older kids and boys, because if she played against people her age and girls, she would just kick their butts.
Yes.
So here's a little true anecdote that says a lot about her personality. She said in a lot of interviews, that as a child, she would cry after losing games.
Because she had the competitive
Yes.
spirit.
What were you like when you played games and lost as a kid?
I didn't cry.
Yeah.
But even over the weekend, I was having a friendly game with, the fam, roommate, my sister, my brother-in-law. And I won 2 of the games, and I came in second in the third, and I was really
this is
bothered.
recently?
Yeah, recently. Like over the weekend. And I smiled, but inside I was like, but why didn't I get, to myself?
Yeah.
It bothered me.
Oh, wow.
But I didn't cry. I did not cry.
Oh,
Right.
I'm not like that now, but when I was younger, I hated losing. So I entered many piano competitions, and there's not many boys in piano competitions when you're young. It's always girls. So I
It
just
bothered you.
Yeah.
You hated it.
Not because they were girls. I just hated losing, and they just happened to be mostly girls.
Okay, so going back to Caitlin,
Yes.
when she went into the draft, when she was drafted
Yes.
into the WNBA, I mean,
Oh yeah, that was
people
huge.
were like following her because she was huge in college hoops too,
Yep.
right?
She was great. She
Yes.
she always had a great long ball. Plus, she was great at assisting. She had the perfect game. She well-rounded.
Right.
So an idiom that fits her. She was built for the big stage.
아, 큰 무대 체질이다.
So
like she was
like
built
Michael
for it.
Jordan.
Yeah.
No, I'm not saying she's Michael Jordan, but
no.
yeah, she's similar, but for the women's.
But I have to say, like, some people are really supportive of her.
Yep.
They love her. And there are some naysayers, though. Some people who are not
lot.
fond of her.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yes, a lot. And one of the reasons is that she is, how would you say, her skin is of a light complexion. So usually people who are good at basketball are of the other complexion. So a lot of the naysayers are from that side of the aisle. But
But some people just don't like the way she comes off as maybe her personality as maybe a little abrasive is what I've seen.
Yeah.
I'm not saying that, but there are people who love her and some that do not.
she's not as bad as Charles Barkley, but she does speak what's in her mind,
Right.
which is good.
But she's very competitive.
Yeah, I like her.
Right. All right. So our first person that we profiled, Caitlin Clark. Let's
Caitlin
move on to our
Clark.
next one, who is
Shohei.
Ohtani.
Ohtani.
Uh-huh.
So baseball season has started.
Yes.
Or the, what do you call it, spring training. Mm-hmm. So I thought I'd pick a player. Could have picked anyone. Pick someone that everybody knows.
Yes.
Show me the money, Ohtani. So he was born in 1994. Another young one in Oshu, Japan.
Sure.
I think with some... Murph might have done this before, but anyway, do it again. His parents, both athletes, and he was very disciplined from a young age.
Right.
One of the things that he did when he was young was that he had a goal chart.
I saw that and I
Yeah.
was just like, wow.
Yeah.
I mean.
So this
yeah.
is something that you shouldn't just do in sports. You could do this in your daily life.
Just life in general.
So when you wake up,
Right.
actually in New Zealand, when I worked in an office, I would, first thing I did in the morning, I'd write down the 10 things I wanted to do today.
Wow.
And then as I did it, ticked it off. When I did all the 10 things, then do a little bit more if you had
Very
time.
goal oriented.
Oh, you had to. Otherwise, you wouldn't get anything done. So he wasn't dreaming vaguely with those goals. He was planning specifically.
Yes.
So he became something baseball hadn't seen in generations. Goes without saying, as
Of
we saw
course.
last year.
Yes.
Elite pitcher, elite hitter. I'm especially pronouncing those. And the idiom for him is carrying the weight of the world on his shoulders.
Wow, that means like huge responsibility.
Huge
right?
responsibility.
Like, literally, like 세상의 무게를 어깨에 짐
Like
that,
Atlas.
right? Just carry,
Atlas.
just carrying.
Carrying the world on
Right.
his shoulders.
Right. So I would say though, like he has, I don't know, transcended. It's definitely not just for people who enjoy baseball.
No.
So
Correct.
yeah.
Yeah, he is a household name. I would say obviously bigger than Caitlin Clark, but not
very
quite as
much.
big as Michael Jordan at the moment, but getting there.
still.
Getting there.
Yes. All right. So we went from Caitlin Clark,
Yep.
WNBA player, to Shohei Ohtani,
Yep.
obviously in the major leagues. And then our third person, who are we going to talk about?
Okay, we're going to move away from sport.
Okay. We are. Okay.
Quan. Sorry.
Quan. Oh, I like this man.
Yes.
Yes.
So he was, there we go. He was born in my generation. Finally, 1971 in Vietnam.
Oh.
So his family fled the country, obviously during the war, and settled or resettled in the United States as refugees.
Yes.
So as a child, he was cast in, obviously, Indiana Jones. Indiana Jones in the Temple of Doom and being discovered. Sorry. I used to do a good imitation of him
Of
when he
Short
was
Round?
younger.
Really?
Yeah, because I watched the movie so many times. Dr. Jones. Anyway, I'll
that's pretty
stop
good.
there.
No. But I mean, it was kind of an iconic role. I remember because, like, growing up in, La La Land in LA,
Yeah, it was
there were very few roles for Asian
Correct.
people
Yeah.
back in the day. And
Always
especially
the bad guy.
Right. Always a villain or
Yeah.
some sidekick or something.
Yes.
And he,
Correct.
he wasn't he in the Goonies as well?
Yes, he was in the
Yes.
Goonies. So he was discovered in an open casting call for Indiana Jones. He wasn't trained. He was just simply in the right place at the right time. They needed a little Asian boy at the time, and so they got him.
Right.
However, after appearing in the Goonies, as you
Yes.
said, after the Goonies, he struggled to find acting roles as he grew older.
It was difficult.
As you said, there were not any roles or opportunities for Asian actors in Hollywood in the 90s and the noughties.
There just weren't. It was either if you were an Asian woman, kind of like a
Yep.
sexy vixen kind of role.
Yes.
You know what I'm talking about. The
Yep.
typical, or
Yeah.
they're just especially for the Asian males,
Yes.
lack of roles.
Yeah.
Yes.
And all these kung fu kind of things as well.
Right. Martial arts.
Stunts and stunt coordinator. But
Right.
he did work behind the scenes as a stunt coordinator and assistant director because he
Wow.
couldn't get into acting. So he considered quitting the film industry entirely. And then he saw this recent drama,
Yes.
Crazy Rich Asians, or a film.
Yes.
Crazy. Have you seen that?
I have.
Yeah, I love it.
It kind of changed
Yes.
the world for lots of Asian actors, though.
Yeah.
That was
Because it was basically only Asians in the movies.
right. And it was
cool.
highly successful.
Yeah. So the film convinced him that maybe Hollywood had changed enough for him to return.
Yes.
And return he did, and he was right. He won an Academy Award, which we did last year. So
That's
the
right.
idiom that fits him is second wind.
Meaning like renewed energy after being like tired or discouraged. Maybe in Korean, 재도약하다.
Yes.
Yes.
Something I'll get after the show's over. So it's actually a sporting term.
Right.
So I wanted to get a little bit nerdy here.
Okay.
It's quite a feat for the human body. So when you go out and exercise, a lot of people might be exercising now, being a Monday
Yes.
morning.
Right. Listening to us.
Yep. So when you get tired after the first time, you're running and then you're breathing heavy.
Yes.
If you push through that, your body does something amazing and you are able to get a second wind.
Literally.
Yeah. So you stop breathing hard and your body just takes it on. And we talked about it a couple of weeks ago regarding adrenaline.
Right.
The
right.
adrenaline kicks in and you get your second wind.
But I love that Quan. That's
Yep.
his name, how his name is pronounced. But that he got his second chance.
Oh, no. Yes.
I
that's right.
love that.
Yep.
That's a comeback story.
Yes.
Definitely.
And it wasn't a quick comeback. 20 years between.
Yeah, it wasn't just like a few years, like 3 years. Yes.
Yeah. So other people who've had a comeback are Tom Brady.
More sports.
More sports. Kevin Durant. Kobe Bryant. Robert Downey Jr.
Oh yeah, definitely.
That was a huge comeback.
That was a huge comeback.
And John Travolta. Tell me more. Tell me more. Sorry. But in all those
we
comebacks.
apologize. Monday morning.
In all the comebacks, as you
Yes.
said and as we alluded to, there are people who will give you that chance. But you also have to recognize that is a chance. So many
Yes.
times there is a chance staring at you in the face and you're going, yeah, whatever. So you need to recognize the chance, take the chance, and also have people who believe in you.
That's true, though.
Yep.
When you have supporters, people who are cheering you on, that makes a huge difference.
Yes.
Having a great support system.
Yep.
So, what's the common thread?
The common thread, Caitlin Clark, thriving under pressure.
Yes.
Shohei Ohtani, planning for greatness and carrying it on calmly.
Yes.
Very nice guy. And Quan shows that even if your spotlight fades, it can return.
In a whole different way. But
Yes.
I really enjoyed learning more about these three individuals, and thank you for sharing them with our listeners today.
Thank you.
Wishing you a wonderful week.
You too.
Thank you, Vasana.
Bye-bye.
All right, it is time to wrap up our segment, actually our first entire hour. And we're going to go to this song for our hour number one. This is Summer Nights by John Travolta, because of course Vasana just mentioned him. And we'll be back for hour number two.
Summer loving had me a blast.
Summer loving
summer nights.
Tell me more, did you get very far?
Tell me more, like the sea of a car.
She's been by me, she got a cramp.
Here and by me, got my so damn.
I saved her life, she nearly drowned.
He showed up, splashing around.
Summer sun, something's begun, but oh, the summer nights.
Tell me more, what's the love at first sight?
Tell me more, did you put up a fight?
Bowling in the arcade.
We went strolling, drank lemonade.
We made out under the dark.
Cruised down, till 10 o'clock.
Summer fling don't mean a thing, but oh, the summer nights.
Tell me more, but you don't gotta brag.
Tell me more, 'cause it sounds like a drag. He got friendly, holding my hand. Well, she got friendly, down in the sand. He was sweet, just under 10.
She was good, you know what I mean.
Summer heat, boy, you know me.
Oh, the summer nights.
Tell me more, I'm stuck in his head.
Tell me more, would you give me a ring?
It turned cold, that's where it ends.
So I told her we'd still be friends.
Then we made our true love vow.
Wonder what she's doing now.
파리 0119 국제구조위원회.
인생 막창을 찾았어. 일러는 만나 불만열삼, 막창의 신불만열삼, 장사의 신불만열삼. 여기가 인생 막창, 불타는 막창, 열받은 삼겹 불만열삼. 창원문의 1588-9376.
혹시 지금 운전 중이신가요? 어린이 교통사고 피해자 수는 지난 3년 평균 약 9만 명. 특히 어린이 보호구역 안전 기준이 강화된 이후에도 어린이 보호구역 내 사고는 지속적으로 발생하고 있습니다. 스쿨존에서는 반드시 시속 30km 이하 서행, 스쿨존 내 불법 주정차 금지, 차량 출발 전 앞뒤 좌우 살피는 습관으로 어린이가 안전한 도시를 만듭니다. 참, 운전 중 휴대전화 사용은 모두에게 위험합니다. 우리 모두를 위한 교통안전, 나부터 실천하면 모두가 안전해집니다. 어린이가 안전하게 뛰어놀 수 있는 부산. 아이 키우기 좋은 도시는 우리 모두의 미래이자 희망입니다. 이 캠페인은 어린이가 안전한 부산을 만드는 은행 BNK 부산은행과 함께합니다.
Brr! It's freezing outside. Let's crank up the heat.
Wait, you don't have to. Lowering the temperature by just 2 degrees can save a lot of energy.
2 degrees? That small change really matters?
You'd be surprised. If 10% of Korean households lower their heating by just 2 degrees, the effects are like planting about 350,000 trees a year.
That's magical. Then I'll just bundle up instead.
Smart move. Try wearing some thermal underwear or warm socks.
Plus, when you go out, don't turn the heater off completely. Set it to away mode or 외출 mode.
That way, it uses less fuel than turning it off and reheating the whole place later. Turn down the heat, but not your warmth.
This campaign is brought to you by BEFM, Busan 영어방송.
The time is now 8 o'clock.
Welcome back, everybody. It's 8 o'clock, and this is Spotlight News. Fire authorities issued nationwide mobilization alerts order for Hamyang wildfire. The National Fire Agency has issued a nationwide mobilization order as a wildfire in Hamyang County, Gyeongnam Province, continues to spread for the third day. The fire in Yesan, Chungnam Province has been extinguished completely after 27 hours, according to the local fire agency. Local authorities also contained the main flame of the wildfire in Gosong, Gangwon Province, an hour and 50 minutes after the fire started. Wildfires of varying sizes have been breaking out sporadically across the country amid dry weather and strong winds, including in Danyang County, Chungbuk Province, and in Yeongdeok, Gyeongbuk Province. Cheongwade holds policy coordination meeting over U.S. tariffs. Senior presidential, government, and ruling Democratic Party officials met last night to discuss policy coordination responses to U.S. President Donald Trump's global reciprocal tariffs of 15%. Officials agree that carrying on with a special bill on U.S. investments without setbacks would be in the best interest of the country, according to the spokesperson for the ruling party. Earlier, Cheongwade convened a meeting of relevant ministries and said that the country will closely monitor additional U.S. measures and the trade environment. South Korea lodges protests over Japan's so-called Takashima Day. The foreign ministry yesterday called in a Japanese diplomat to lodge a protest over an annual regional event in Japan, claiming sovereignty over South Korea's island of Dokdo. The ministry called in Hirotaka Matsuo, deputy head of mission at the Japanese embassy in Seoul, to strongly protest the event that took place in Japan's western Shimane prefecture. The ministry spokesperson called on Tokyo to immediately stop its unjustified claims to the islets and face up to history in a humble manner. Armed man who breached Trump's residence killed. The U.S. Secret Service shot and killed an armed intruder who breached the perimeter of Mar-a-Lago, Donald Trump's Florida residence, early on Sunday local time. The local sheriff said Secret Service agents and the local police confronted a white male carrying a shotgun and a gasoline can who entered the secure perimeter of the property. He was shot after he refused orders to drop the items. Trump and First Lady Melania Trump were at the White House during the incident. South Korea comes in 13th place as Milano Cortina Games end. The Milano Cortina Winter Olympics have come to an end with a closing ceremony in Verona, with South Korea coming in 13th place in the medal standings. Team Korea won 3 gold medals, 4 silvers, and 3 bronze, falling short of its goal of making it into the top 10, but still ranking 1 spot higher than in the 2022 Beijing Games. Norway came in first with 41 total medals, including 18 golds. Team USA ranked second, and the Netherlands in 3rd place. Host country Italy came in 4th place in overall medal rankings. And this was Spotlight News. It's time for a special interview. The U.S. Supreme Court delivered a significant setback to President Donald Trump, ruling that he exceeded his authority by imposing broad tariffs under a law intended for national emergencies. In a 6-3 decision, the court found that Trump had overstepped the powers granted under the 1977 International Emergency Economic Powers Act, or IEEPA. The ruling prompted sharp criticism from the president, who expressed strong dissatisfaction with the majority's decision. And despite the court's ruling, the White House announced that a separate global tariff, initially set at 10%, would now be raised to 15% using alternative legal authorities such as Section 122 of the U.S. So today we're going to examine the economic and policy implications of this decision and what it signals for the future of U.S. trade strategy. Joining us once again is Professor Shin Myung-yu, Associate Professor in the School of Economics at Yonsei University. Hi, welcome back, Professor.
Good morning.
Yes, so what does this ruling mean? Does this ruling make U.S. trade policy more predictable, or do you think it could create new uncertainties?
While the ruling that prohibits the government impose reciprocal tariff was widely expected, it does not seem to make the U.S. trade policy more predictable than before. In the sense that the U.S. president and his cabinet will circumvent the ruling by using alternative methods. As expected, their actions, which will seek to impose more tariff on other countries, are predictable. However, it further creates endless 2 layers of uncertainty. First, how to redistribute the tariff collected last year is uncertain because the Supreme Court did not decide how to approach the problem. It will take a lot of time to resolve this issue. Second, the way the Trump administration would deal with the issue is not perfectly predictable, as we have seen for a year. Even the global tariff rate was first announced to be 10%, but after one day, it increased to 15%, which makes the trade uncertainty increase even more. So the trade uncertainty itself is not resolved yet. And as is well reported by a lot of newspapers, alternative ways to impose higher tariff rate are more constrained than the way the U.S. president utilized so far. For example, it cannot discriminate countries with differentiated tariff rate anymore. And it cannot impose tariff on any goods more than 5 months within a year. But the Trump government seems to be willing to impose similar policies to govern the global economy. So we cannot really expect what he will do in the future. So it increases the uncertainty that we face again.
Yes, and of course, we here in Korea are very much worried about the implications for South Korea's very much export-driven economy. So what would you say about this and the fact that South Korea, should it adjust its trade strategy in response to this?
In the sense that the U.S. government cannot impose the tariff rate in a different way on different countries, it does not create the changes in the relative prices among the goods that are exported to U.S. So it's kind of the good news on South Korea, but the effect of the ruling on the Korean economy is somewhat limited because of the several reasons. First, the tariff on the several key items, including memory chips, cars, and metals, can still be controlled by the U.S. government with the other trade act. These items are the key products exported from South Korea to the U.S. So if you look at the data, the share of car and memory chips and total export exceeds 1/3 in January, and similar patterns are usually observed for the other years. Because the U.S. government can still apply higher tariffs on these items, the positive effect of the ruling seems to be somewhat limited for South Korea.
Yes.
And second, while the way that the U.S. president put the reciprocal tariff cannot be maintained furthermore, there is no consensus on what will happen to the agreement between Korea and the U.S., including the investment pledge. So there still exists uncertainty surrounding the Korean economy, as I commented earlier, and higher uncertainty tends to drag down the economy. So even we hear some kind of good news on the trade, but we cannot be sure if that is really good news, particularly for South Korea.
Right, right. And of course, people are wondering about the $350 billion South Korean investment into the United States. So will this ruling, or should it affect that aspect, the investment aspect?
As I pointed out earlier, there is uncertainty about this. So if the Korean government explicitly argues that the investment bill would not be executed as planned, it will provoke the U.S. government, and then the U.S. government may put additional pressures on the key export items such as memory chips and cars by applying item-specific tariff rates, which is already it does. We have already seen such a situation in Japan. Before the ruling, there was news that President Trump was upset about the slow pace of the investment from Japan. It could possibly raise a tariff rate on Japan. So what I think is the Korean government seems to take the stance that I think is the kind of the correct way, that it takes a wait-and-see strategy which means that the government just waits until the uncertainty that it faces resolves, and it takes the action after a while. So at this point, it seems premature that the investment deal would be nullified or not. So it can still be imposed, although there is a possibility of renegotiation in the near future.
Right, right. And with the announcement of this new tariff, at first he said it was 10%, and then it was raised to 15% later. Does this show that the tensions persist, and also that Trump basically is very dissatisfied with the Supreme Court's ruling? So what are your thoughts on this, Professor?
Yes, it is really clear that the current U.S. government does not want to lose its grab on the global economy by controlling the tariff rate. The global tariff rate can be applied for at most 5 months, and the U.S. government will search for alternative measures to exploit its power at the global market. So what I believe is the tension will persist until the outcome from the U.S. midterm election is realized. If the Republican Party loses its majority position in the election, we might expect that the President Trump can face early lame duck, which we already see its glimpse at this point. But actually, what I believe is that even if the Republican Party loses the election, I'm not so sure the Trump administration will stop the tariff war. So it seems more natural to expect that the uncertainty surrounding the trade tariff, as well as the global economy, will be continued for a while.
Yes, yes. And in terms of the South Korean companies and also the policymakers, what do you think they'll be watching most closely in the coming months as the U.S. trade policy continues to evolve? Because, just within a few short hours from 10 to 15%, and we just don't know. It's very unexpected, unprecedented at this point.
To me, it is, of course, the President Trump's announcement and words in the SNS is what we have to clearly follow. While he loses one of the most powerful policy tools he has,
Right.
he still has alternative measures such as the Super 301 Act that prohibits products to be exported to the U.S. So the farms and policymakers should keep attention to what he says so that they can respond and prepare for responses more promptly. And secondly, they also need to closely follow what other countries do. This is like a coordination game between the countries, like the European countries, Japan, and Canada and Korea,
Right.
that are targeted by the U.S. So keeping similar pace with other countries seems to be also important because it can increase the negotiation power of each country.
Yes, indeed. So, of course, we will be watching the situation as well. But thank you so much for coming on air with us to share your expertise and opinions. Thank you and take care, Professor.
Thank you.
This is Professor Shin Myung-gyu. We talked about the Supreme Court decision from the U.S. and also Trump's response with the 10 and now raised up to 15% global tariffs. We'll continue to watch the situation at hand, and we'll be back with your traffic and weather.
Good morning. Good morning.
굿모닝입니다.
Good morning.
좋은 아침입니다.
Morning wave in Busan.
Morning wave in Busan.
Morning wave in Busan. Major news, local buzz, and expert takes. It's all here on Morning Wave in Busan. Brighten up your morning commute with Morning Wave in Busan.
Morning wave in Busan.
It's time for your traffic update. There is an accident on Suyong Gangbyeon-daero from Banya Overpass to Seonsuchon intersection right at the end of the overpass, so please be aware of this area right now. It's congested on Chungnyeol-daero from Daesung to Dongnae intersection. It's quite busy on the top portion of Gwangan Bridge right now. It's also slow on Chungjang-daero for pier number 5 to pier number 3. It is currently 3 degrees under clear skies here in Busan. It's expected to go up to 14 today. Busan City is under a dry weather special report and a cold wave special report. Across the nation, a chilly morning, up to 10 degrees colder than yesterday, with most of the country seeing sub-zero temperatures. The air is very dry across Gangwon, Gyeongsang, and the East Coast, so please take extra care when handling flames. Bad fine dust levels are forecast due to yellow dust from China, so please check the air quality level before you head on out. This was your traffic and weather. It is time for Wagga Wagga Tea Time. Haley's back.
Hello, hello.
Before we dive into our first story, can I give a shout out to Choi Yoon-jung-ning? Because she's such a
please.
longtime listener and supporter of the show. And she is currently in hospital because she had a very serious traffic accident, a car accident. And she sent us, she used to send photos of beautiful flowers, like, very often. And she just sent us a photo of her, the 병원 밥?
Her hospital meals.
Her hospital meal. 식판에 나오는 이제 그거밖에 찍을 수 없어.
We laugh because she says she was in a better.
She's better.
Yeah, she's getting better.
There you have it.
I mean, it's
looks
not a
good,
bad
though.
meal. I'm saying it's not a bad meal.
But the fact that she used to send in photos
Right,
of flowers
right,
and now
right.
it's of that.
I know.
Get better soon. We wish you
Yes,
the very
please.
best. All right. Now we're going to head into our first story. The head of the Korea Forest Service has been fired for one of our pet peeves, drunk driving.
And during these times where we were literally talking about multiple wildfires breaking out across the country. So on Saturday, President Lee Jae-myung said that he has dismissed the head of the Korea Forest Service, Kim In-ho, after finding out that he had violated the law. So at that point, 청와대 didn't explicitly say what law that was. However, Gyeonggi Bundang Police said that they booked Kim on violation of the Road and Traffic Act, specifically drunk driving. So the puzzles were just kind of fitting into shape. And according to reports, Kim apparently was driving his car in an intoxicated state, aka drunk state, at 10:50 p.m. on Friday night, where he crashed into a bus and then another vehicle at Singi intersection. So he allegedly ran a red light and crashed into cars that were turning left on their green. Thankfully, no one was hurt. However, at the time, his blood alcohol concentration was apparently at the level of license suspension. In South Korea, that is between 0.03 and 0.08%.
Right. And I hear that this came as a real shocker for the whole department.
Right. For multiple reasons. Timing. First of all, he was let go from the position just 6 months after his appointment. And this is one of the second shortest tenure by someone holding that position.
Right.
The only person who served a shorter term was Mr. Lee Dong-woo back in 1990, but he was actually reappointed to a different position within the government. So this wasn't for any, disgraceful reasons.
Right.
So Forest Service employees say that during wildfire season, which is now, and a wildfire alert has been issued earlier than usual due to dry air. There's kind of a saying that the chief of the service doesn't as much as smell alcohol, let alone actually go drinking and drunk driving, so that this is unbelievable.
Right.
And 청와대 said that the government will sternly respond to any law violations of high-ranking officials within the government.
Ah, yes. Disappointing. Right. Up next, from now on, this is all very much related to our text topic, charging your phone. You cannot charge your phone via the power banks on Korean airline carriers.
Right. So starting today, all 11 South Korean airlines are banning charging phones or any electronics via those portable batteries or power banks while you're on the plane.
Right.
So you can still bring those power banks or portable batteries on board, but then they must be put into separate pouches or, those plastic bags or have electronic tape covering the ports.
Right.
So if the plane has, then you might be wondering, for example, my phone, which is currently at 61%, my goodness.
Oh, no.
Right.
Yes.
So then what about your phone and actually charging them? If the plane has charging ports on the seats, then you can still use them.
Okay.
But then in cases of planes that don't, the airline will basically tell customers, be prepared in advance, fully charge your phone before you board the flight.
Right.
My phone is fully charged 4 hours ago. So anyways, so foreign airlines, some of them are doing the same, including Germany's Lufthansa and the UAE's Emirates. And Japan is also planning on banning these battery packs charging from April.
I see. And of course, this follows a series of accidents involving these battery packs.
Right. So it all started with the Air Busan flight last January at Kimhae International Airport, where a portable battery caught fire and basically burned the entire plane.
Right.
And then on an Air China flight from Hangzhou to Incheon, they had to make an emergency landing due to a battery pack fire. And then 2 cases came out just from this January, an Asiana Airlines flight and a T-Way flight. So this is going to cause some major inconveniences, especially for low-cost carriers, LCCs, because a lot of these LCCs do not have those battery ports or charging ports on the seats.
That's right. So now you know. We've given you a heads up. Moving on, there is a new trend in drinking. So solo drinking bars.
So solo drinking, 혼술, has been popular for years and years, right? But then why would you seek a bar to solo drink when you can do that at home for company? So, right, let that sink in.
Okay.
So you are seeking these bars.
Uh-huh.
So you would go drinking alone, but then also have company.
Oh.
So these are becoming increasingly popular, and they're called 혼술바. So these bars, instead of just like having bar seats, it'll
Yes.
have one gigantic table in the middle, to the nightmare of introverts.
Okay, and then what happens?
And then
I'm so
you
here
go
for
there
this.
alone,
Uh-huh.
and the bartender or the hostess will seat you next to other people, random strangers, and then you are encouraged to speak to them.
Oh.
So, I mean, in Korea, we call this like pickups hunting. So it's not necessarily like a full-out pickup bar.
Okay.
But sometimes it kind of is. I mean, you can go there to meet someone for romantic purposes or just have company to talk to people and have these quote-unquote loose social connections. So this apparently started in Jeju, where a lot of solo travelers in the evening, right, would seek out company
That makes
just to be able to talk to people.
Yeah.
And it's made its way up to Seoul. So according to reports, there are currently about 80 quote-unquote solo drinking bars in Seoul. And apparently it's a nice place for people to meet people, especially if you're new in town and seek out these loose social connections.
Okay, so what could be driving the popularity of these solo bars? Because it still kind of boggles my mind. I'm still like, I don't know if I could do it if I were single. Like, would you go? Or would you go, PD님? They're just like gently like the gentle
Loneliness.
Oh,
Right,
okay.
because according to one survey over 1,000 adults from last year, it showed that 59% of those in their 20s and 53% of those in their 30s felt lonely in their day-to-day lives. And these younger people apparently lacked meaningful social connections.
Okay.
Basically, family or friends not having people to pour their hearts out to. So experts say that young people these days, they didn't grow up with siblings, right? A lot of them are only children.
Right.
Or they have to view their classmates as competitors, as rivals in a fierce academic setting. So showing any of your problems could be signs of weakness.
Yes.
And sometimes it is more comfortable to talk to relative strangers about your
is.
problems than people that you know and love.
Right.
So these solo bars kind of act as a social lubricant for minimal commitment, but still providing company.
Okay, you've convinced me. I mean, I can see why people would seek out these places.
Right. I feel like if I'm traveling, for example, Jeju, I would be more inclined to visit these solo bars. But I've also seen comments online of people of actual introverts who are mad at these solo bars because they're like, I just wanted to go drink alone. And then I was seated next to some random people who began talking to me. And I was like, why are you talking to me? Yeah.
I see. So, well, if you are single and you like to mingle, I mean, tell us what it feels like. We want to live vicariously through all of you. All right, now for a final story. We're going to go to the UK, where Andrew Mountbatten Windsor, so you might be saying, who is that? Formerly Prince Andrew, is facing a police investigation.
Right, Prince Andrew, that guy.
Yeah.
So scandals surrounding King Charles's brother, former Prince Andrew, these scandals are growing. So last week, he was arrested by the police from his home for suspicion of misconduct in public office. And to top this all, that was his 66th birthday. So this came out in the wake of the release of some 3 million documents from the Epstein files. And former Prince Andrew Mountbatten, he has been very well known for his social relationship to Epstein.
Yes.
So in the emails, they show that Andrew allegedly gave convicted sex offender Jeffrey Epstein confidential government report while Andrew was working as a special trade envoy for the UK.
Okay.
And Epstein apparently profited from this information.
Ooh.
Allegations have also been raised involving Epstein providing women to the then prince, with their relationship going back years and years.
Right. So I want to know, how did the palace respond?
Right. So this is a quick turnaround from basically when Queen Elizabeth II was alive,
Right.
because the palace essentially protected him.
Yes.
Andrew was well known to be the Queen's favorite son. But King Charles released a statement saying that the authorities have the palace's full cooperation and a very clear message. Quote, the law must take its course.
Yes.
To give you perspective on how big of a deal this is, again, he's the late Queen's son, known to be her favorite, and the current king's younger brother.
Right.
So to have that visual of him basically kind of shoved into the backseat of a police vehicle was quite shocking. But his title as the prince has been stripped after the Epstein scandal. He is technically still in line to the throne, 8th, but UK ministers are looking into stripping him of this title too.
Okay.
So again, this is a huge shock for the palace. It is the first time in 400 years that a high-ranking royal has been arrested for a criminal matter.
That's right, and of this serious in nature. So thank you for all the waggling. And of course, we'll check in with you tomorrow. Thank you, Haley.
Have a great day.
All right, it is time for a little breather. How about this one for all the Hohenzollers out there? All by Myself by Celine Dion.
When I was young, I never needed anyone, and making love was just fun. Those days are gone. Living alone, I think of all the friends I've known. But when I dial the telephone, nobody's home. All by myself, don't wanna be all by myself anymore. Hard to be sure. Sometimes I feel so insecure, and love so distant and obscure remains the cure. Never needed anyone, and making love was just for fun. Those days are gone. All by myself, don't wanna be all by myself anymore.
And now it's time for in-depth news with Sue. She's in the studio with us. How are you?
I'm great. Thank you. I'm well rested. How about you?
So well rested. I was still recovering from like the long, Lunar New Year holiday.
Was it long?
For me, it was a lot of traveling domestically,
I
and
see.
then so Thursday and Friday I was extremely tired, but Dr. Liu was telling us that's normal.
Right.
So Saturday I went outside, enjoyed the sun, and then Sunday I was yesterday I'm I need to rest. So I feel so refreshed, and I think I have that extra energy, not because it's just Monday, because our producer is back.
I know. Welcome back.
So I have a text topic for you.
Oh, okay.
So it's regarding phone batteries. Are you the type that always wants it at 100? Like you charge it, or do you wait until it goes down to 10%?
I am the latter.
Oh, really?
Yes.
You wait until it goes down?
Yeah, when the battery marks red, and that's I gotta charge it.
Okay.
Now. Yeah.
Tommy says, I refer back to Tommy.
Okay.
Because he develops smartphones. And so he says to all of us, it's better to periodically charge.
Is it?
Yeah, that's what he says. So not he told me on a personal note, don't wait until it gets down too low.
Never heard that. Thank you.
Yeah. So now we know. We're going to jump into our first bit of news. We have Brazilian President Luiz Inácio Lula da Silva, who is visiting Korea for a state visit. What can you tell us?
That's right. President Lula arrived yesterday for a 3-day state visit. He's here at the invitation of President Lee Jae-myung. This is the first state guest President Lee has received since returning to the presidential office late last year. So symbolically, it carries weight.
Right.
It's also President Lula's first state visit to Korea in 21 years. The last time was during his first term back in 2005. And the two leaders will hold a summit today. They're also scheduled to attend an MOU signing ceremony and a state banquet.
Yes, indeed. And so what are the main issues expected to be discussed during this summit?
The agenda is quite broad. They will discuss trade and investment first. Climate and energy are also key topics. Other areas include space development, defense industries, science and technology, agriculture, education, and cultural exchange. So this isn't just ceremonial. It's focused on expanding practical cooperation across many sectors.
Okay.
And another interesting aspect is their personal connection. Both leaders come from humble beginnings. Last year at the G7 summit in Canada, President Lee shared a story about injuring his arm while working in a factory as a teenager. And President Lula had a similar experience growing up. Because of that, he immediately connected with the story.
Okay.
And because they share very similar life experiences, that's raising expectations for more open and candid discussions.
I see. Well, beyond diplomacy, there also seems to be a strong economic focus. So what's happening on that front?
Yes, that's a major part of this visit. According to Brazil's foreign ministry, more than 230 business representatives are traveling to Korea alongside President Lula.
Wow.
So a Brazil-Korea business forum will be held in Seoul during the visit. Brazilian companies are looking to expand trade and investment ties. And the forum will include panels on strategic minerals, artificial intelligence, of course, agriculture, the creative economy, and cosmetics even. Strategic minerals are especially important because Brazil holds competitive advantages in that sector. In addition, the two presidents are expected to adopt a 3-year cooperation plan covering 2026 to 2029. That suggests this visit is not just about immediate agreements, but about setting a longer-term framework for deeper partnership.
I see. And, we've also seen attention on the First Ladies meeting as well. What stood out here?
Yes, even before the summit began, the First Ladies met separately.
Yes.
Brazil's First Lady, Rosângela da Silva, arrived a day earlier and was welcomed by First Lady Kim Hae-kyung. They visited Gwangjang Market together. They looked at traditional hanbok fabrics and chose matching rings as a symbol of friendship.
Yes, and if you're on our YouTube page, you can see a photo, an image of the two First Ladies there.
And Kim wore a jade-colored hanbok inspired by Brazil's national flag colors. So it was meant as a gesture of respect. And Rosangela also praised Korea's cultural influence. She mentioned the growing popularity of Korean culture in Brazil, including K-pop groups with Brazilian members. So overall, this visit highlights not only diplomatic and economic cooperation, but also growing cultural ties between the two countries.
Yes, yes, indeed. And so we'll continue to watch how this visit shapes relations between the two countries. And I do remember even last week, there was an image of the Brazilian First Lady. She was wearing a hanbok
Yes, I
that
saw
she was
that.
gifted. So that also made waves as well. But we're going to move on. What is our next story?
This one focuses on how schools handle sexual harassment and sexual violence cases. More regional education offices are now stepping in to directly oversee sexual grievance review committees instead of leaving them to individual schools.
Yes.
So far this year, 4 more regions, including Seoul, Gwangju, South Gyeongsang, and Jeju, have announced they will transfer those committees to the education office level.
I see.
In Seoul, Gwangju, and South Gyeongsang, the change will take effect starting in March with the new school year. Jeju plans to implement it in September. And by the end of this year, at least 12 out of the country's 17 regional education offices are expected to operate these committees directly. And 8 regions are already doing so.
I see. So why are education offices taking over this responsibility?
The main goal is to improve fairness and professionalism.
Okay.
Until now, most schools handled these cases internally. School committees were responsible for reviewing incidents, protecting victims, and preventing repeat offenses.
Right.
But concerns have been raised about conflicts of interest. For example, if a case involves a principal, vice principal, or fellow teacher, it may be difficult for school staff to remain completely impartial. There have also been issues with inconsistency.
Right.
Because teachers may not have specialized training, similar cases have sometimes led to very different decisions depending on the school.
True.
By transferring responsibility to education offices, committees, they can include outside experts, and that helps ensure more objective investigations and more consistent standards. It may also reduce the workload on teachers at individual schools.
I see. So was this change encouraged by the Education Ministry?
Yes, the Ministry of Education has been recommending this transfer since 2023. At first, many regional offices were hesitant. They were concerned about staffing and budget limitations.
Right.
But over time, more offices began adopting the policy. This year, the ministry stepped up its efforts. It added the transfer of these committees to its official evaluation criteria for regional education offices. And those evaluations actually matter. They can influence financial support, including special grants, so that created a strong incentive.
I see.
The ministry also recently revised its guidelines. Now, if the head of a public institution under the ministry is accused of sexual harassment or violence, higher authorities can directly conduct investigations.
I see. So this move comes among growing concern over sexual violence cases. So I'm sure there is a broader context here.
Yes, there is. Public attention intensified following the so-called 색동원 case. Earlier this month, the head of a residential facility for people with severe disabilities in Incheon was arrested on charges of sexually assaulting residents.
Yes.
The allegations were first made public about a year ago, but officials believe the abuse may have continued for nearly a decade without proper intervention.
Right.
So Prime Minister Kim Min-seok described it as shocking that no institution effectively stepped in during that time. And that case has sparked criticism about weak oversight and delayed responses.
Yes.
So in that context, education authorities appear to be strengthening systems to prevent similar failures.
Yes.
Officials say the goal is clear. They want investigations to be handled fairly, victims to be protected properly, and accountability to be strengthened.
Right. So we're going to have to wait and see whether these reforms truly lead to greater transparency and, of course, protection of the victims. Well, let's move to our final story. What is this one about? that?
So this is about the return of a historic artifact connected to independence activist An Jung-gun. President Lee Jae-myung welcomed the return of one of An's handwritten calligraphy pieces, which has arrived in Korea more than a century after it was written.
Oh, so we need further details on this one, and we also have a visual of this as well. So what exactly returned to Korea?
So the item, as you can see, is a calligraphy work in Korean Yumuk that An Jung-gun wrote in 1910 while imprisoned in Lucian prison before his execution. The phrase reads 빈이 무참, 부이 무교. It sounds difficult. It means even when poor, do not flatter. Even when wealthy, do not be arrogant.
Very deep.
Yes. This piece had been kept in Tokyo and it's now being loaned to Korea for 6 months. It officially arrived on the 20th and will be displayed at the An Jung-gun Memorial Hall.
And what was the response to this?
President Lee shared the news on social media. He said he welcomes the return of An Jung-gun's writing, not as a terrorist, but as a lieutenant general of the Korean Independence Army.
Yes.
That wording is significant. It reflects ongoing debates over how An is remembered internationally. The president also thanked those involved in bringing the piece back and said the government is continuing efforts to locate and repatriate An's remains. He emphasized that independence and sovereignty are not achieved automatically. He said they are won and protected through strong determination and constant struggle. He also stressed that the country must properly honor and remember those who sacrificed for independence.
Yes, yes. And why is this return symbolically important, though?
It comes at a time when historical memory and national identity remain sensitive issues in the region. President Lee made a pointed remark saying that in a country where independence activist families once suffered while collaborators prospered, it would be difficult to expect people to willingly sacrifice for the nation.
Yes.
He added that it's time to set things right, and the Ministry of Patriots and Veterans Affairs plans to officially unveil the calligraphy next month, marking the 116th anniversary of An's death. And for many, the return of this handwritten message is more than just the arrival of an artifact.
Yes.
It is seen as a symbolic reminder of dignity, principle, and the unfinished work of historical recognition.
Yes, indeed. Thanks for sharing this. It's definitely a powerful reminder of how important history is. Well, thank you for all the news, and we wish you the best this week. We'll check in with you next week. Thank you, Sue.
Thank you.
All right, everybody. Before I let you go on this Monday morning, I have a public service announcement for you. And this is from the Ministry of the Interior and Safety and the Korea Forest Service. Even a small ember can cause a massive disaster when it comes to wildfires. Don't burn trash without permission. Don't handle flames in forests and fully put out wood-burning stoves or boilers. Handling or starting a fire in forest areas can result in prison sentences or other forms of criminal prosecution. So once again, you heard about all the fires in your news segments. And of course, it's been so dry. So there have been several warnings. But of course, with this public service announcement, even more of a reason to be extra careful. All right. I do want to address some of your messages because we got so many of them. Our text topic today, by the way, was this. Like, when do you charge your phone? Like, do you always want it at 100%, or do you wait until it goes down to 10 or maybe 20%? And it really does run the gambit. Souvenir, Dr. Sunim says, 저는 40% 밑으로 내려가면 불안해서 자주 충전하는 편입니다. You and I were in the same boat. Like, when it comes to when it goes down below 50%, I start looking for, if I don't have a portable battery, I start looking for, areas or, does he have, or can I borrow? I start in my mind starting to think about, just in case, where can I charge my phone? I think it might be a personality thing, not necessarily because I've never had an emergency where my battery has run out, thank goodness. But I did switch to a newer phone just a couple months ago. And I have to say, in comparison to my old phone, because it's a newer phone, yesterday I did not charge overnight. And I woke up and it was like still like 80-something%. So, the newer phones, they do hold the charge much better. Other people, like Leah says, my type is like, I used to let my phone run down to 10-20% and didn't really care. But now it gets charged automatically most of the time because I use it so often. And I like to check on how much or how high the charge is at what percentile. So anyhow, thank you for your messages. We're going to call it a wrap for this Monday morning. How about this song for our final one? This is Deja Vu by Olivia Rodrigo, wishing you a beautiful Monday. Bye, everybody.
Strawberry ice cream, 1 spoon for 2 and trading jackets, laughing about how small it looks on you. Watching reruns of Glee.